So good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. The last time we did this, I don't know how many of you were on, but I had a little scheduling dilemma, and I was taking this from the airport. And right before I said, Lynn, you need to do this one. And she's like, what? Of course, Lynn is amazing, and it went great. So 2 days ago, or yesterday, I was on with Lynn, and I said, hey, Lynn, I got a scheduling conflict for tomorrow. Just joking. Anyways, hello, everybody, and hello to Lynn. Before we get going, Lynn, do you want to say anything? Because, you know, as many of you know, you interact with Lynn a lot. Lynn is our point person in Paris. She is amazing, and quite frankly, I couldn't ask for somebody better than Lynn to work with on this project. So, and I know many of you have interacted with her. So Lynn, do you want to say a few things before I jump into the PowerPoint here?
Thank you, Chris. And it's also an absolute honor to work with you, first of all, and also to all the chefs who are here with us today, and also many others that can't attend because of schedule conflict. So yes, I'm Ling, and you might have received a lot of emails from me about different topics. And I just hope that you'll find my emails helpful, and the supports that we've been trying to provide so far from the Feed the Planet team is relevant to what you are doing in your country. Is one thing to do, to plan and to map our materials and try to keep it updated from outside, but is absolutely another level to deliver it to students and keep them engaged on daily basis like you do. So thank you so much for joining us and be part of our project. And I really hope that we can continue to work together in many years to come, because we are always trying to stay relevant with the content that we provide you. And yeah, that's truly a pleasure to work on the project with you.
Thank you, Lynn. So one other thought, Lynn, that we should put on our to-do list is that, you know, when we're at Congress next year, we should have, and I've talked about this on the monthly webinar things, that we should have a Feed the Planet meetup, so we get to meet everybody in
an actual meetup, not like an online meetup with a computer.
That's right. But I do think that we also should have a time maybe just for this group, because, you know, you guys are really, you're the you know, the boots on the ground. You're the force that makes this go, and we cannot be more thankful for your dedication to this, because you help move this forward a lot. And so we're going to get into that. So let's jump into this real quick, and thank you for taking the time to join this morning, because we want to give you an update. We want to tell you where things are headed, and at the end we're going to ask for your opinions and some help on a big project that we're working on. So with that, let's jump into the next slide if we could. So this is the agenda for today. You know, we're going to sort of take a look and see how we're doing. Look at the big goal out there for 2030. You know, everybody talks about 2030. So we figured we should have a 2030 also. That's big and audacious. We're going to talk about the future of sustainability education and what we're going to be doing in terms of moving it online, which is kind of a new thing for us. And then talk a little bit about World Chefs Trainer, you know, the lists, and then open it up to discussion, questions, feedback. You know, again, you guys are the eyes and ears out there. So next slide, please. So this is where we are. As of now, in 2021, you have educated 1,275 people on the sustainability curriculum. 1,275. Now, you know, I think about that number, and when Lynn shared that number with me, I was frankly kind of blown away, because there's a lot of stuff going on in this world right now, a lot of not good stuff going on in this world. The pandemic looked like maybe we were making some progress on it, and now it's I don't know. There's big chunks of this world that have not been vaccinated at all, or at extremely low levels, where the virus still has the ability to move around the population. And I sort of thought that this number would be kind of low this year because of all the issues that surround us. And I was so thrilled to see that number of 1,275. And that's thanks to all of you, because that is how we move the ball forward. And each one of the people that you have educated now has the potential to change the world that they live in, to change the environment that they work in, that they live in. And that's huge, because this is all about this geometric growth, right? I mean, one person teaches 10 people, they go out and start to do something, they have now increased their ability to change the world tenfold, and then some of those 10 may become trainers, and on, and we get bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's super exciting. I do want to just take a moment and call out some folks who I'm not sure if they're on the call today or not, but who have really, really been active a lot in educating people. So I want to recognize them. And the first is Shona and her colleagues at Umber College. That's kind of a cool thing. You see it listed here. So it is now part of their curriculum in their college. And they have a very nice school up in Toronto, Canada. Shona is a rock star. She's also on the Feed the Planet committee, is the vice chair, and it's now in their curriculum. I will also say that we've been working with some other schools, notably Johnson & Wales here in the US, and they're starting to put it into some of their coursework also. So that's something we love to see. And anytime you can influence or talk to a school, or if you're in a school, make it part of the actual curriculum so that every student takes it. And of course, the beauty of that is then every student has one additional piece of paper, one additional recognition when they graduate. So that's good for everybody. I'd also want to just call out some other names here. Monster. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. I apologize. And Wafa from Egypt, Haitam from Turkey, Noor Al-Bata from Palestine, Philippe from Centennial College in Canada, Terry, who I know is on here, from the Silver Spoon Hospitality Academy in Namibia, Duerto, who's on, and Marlene from the Universidad Técnica Particular de Loja in Ecuador, John or Jean from the Philippines, Matthew from and colleagues at the Harvest Table Group in the US, and Ankar from India. So thank you. Thank you all very much for your continued commitment, because that's how we move the ball forward. Now, where are we at numbers wise? We have 108 approved trainers in 50 countries. So that is a number that I am, and I know Lynn is, incredibly happy to see. We're very thankful for each one of those 108. Now imagine if each one of those 108 is able to, touch and educate a certain number of people. The number up on the top left starts growing and growing and growing. Plus, we're adding more trainers to this. So we're making a global force. And this is one of the beauties of World Chefs. It's 50 countries we're in right now. 50. Basically that's about a little less than 1/3 of the world from a country standpoint. That's pretty amazing. So let's keep adding people. And if you're working with people or interact with people, and that they have that, that ability, that gift, if you will, to teach other people, suggest to them, just say, hey, I think you would be a really great trainer. And you should really think about doing that. So let's, what can we do? How can I help to facilitate that? And just something to put out there for you to think about, because the more people we get, the better we are. So next one, Lynn, this is the big drum roll. Here we go. Okay, this is our big audacious 2030 goal. And that is 100,000 students that we have educated. And when we say students, by the way, that could be, people in the profession, that could be cooks, it could be chefs, they're all under that sort of moniker of a student. But it's basically, maybe the other way to think about this is, people that we've educated with our sustainability curriculum. Now, if we think about the fact that today, this year, we've done 1,275, that is a great number. But to get to 100,000 is going to require a lot more trainers, and it's going to require everybody doing, touching more people. So we can get there. There's no doubt in my mind, because if I think about 2 years ago, where we were at versus where we're at today, it's an amazing growth. And again, we're starting to see that geometric growth where all of a sudden it's not a straight line that goes up, but it starts to be that curve up. And so that's what we are pushing for. It's a big goal, but I really do believe that it is absolutely doable. And it's only going to be doable with all of you. So keep going. All right, next, please. So another way that we're going to get there is by putting everything online. And we know that, I was an educator for many years. And I guess, Lynn and I were talking about this before, as my background had disappeared on my Zoom thing and I had to get it again. And I'm like, now, Lynn, how do I do that again? And she's like laughing, like, oh, here he goes, this guy who can't figure out the computer, right? The reality is many of us grew up in a world that was teaching face-to-face. And I think that face-to-face instruction is amazing. And clearly a lot of you are doing it, and that's great. But if we're going to get to that 100,000 number, we also have to really think about how do we do this from a digital standpoint? How do we do this online? And not even how do we do it like we've done, in the past with myself and, basically saying, we're going to run this course at this time and you need to be there at that time. That's one way of being digital, but it really doesn't give maximum flexibility to the people who are taking, the education, or, the students effectively. So what are we going to do? We're going to move this into the World Chefs Academy. So it will be totally online. Students can do it at their own pace versus having to be on a webinar at a certain time. And that allows them to think about all the people who are working, right? They all work different hours, sometimes super long hours. Some days it's crazy days, and then other days it's a little lighter. It's totally up to them as to how they do it and how it fits into their schedule. Now, putting everything online is not a small task. And we recognize that. That is sort of the big sort of project that we're working on right now. But how this works is, imagine we could actually offer this to anybody in the world completely free of charge. Completely free of charge. So that this is never about how can we make money at this? Or it's not about that whatsoever. It's about how do we change the world? And the only way we change the world, the only way that we help with that is to get lots of people educated and hopefully lots of people moving towards action. Because if you look at the data that's coming out and the reports that have come out in the last few months, as a planet, we're in trouble, and we've got to change the way we do things. Now, a lot of that's going to fall on politicians and all of that, but we have our role to play, and so we want to be sure we do. So the goal here is to get this launched by the World Chefs Congress next year, as you can see on the bottom left. So there's a lot to do between now and then, and we want to be sure that when we when we put it online, that it's robust, that it really works, that it's engaging, that it really fits in terms of how you do this with people's busy schedules. So that's the plan. So let's move to the next slide. Excuse me, I'm gonna have one more sip of my last ounce cold, but coffee. Although Walter, the idea of wine doesn't sound so bad. So, all right. So this is where we're gonna reach out to all of you and ask for your, thoughts and how you could potentially join us in this, because there's a lot to do. All of you who are in the world of education, that curriculum and courses need to be updated from time to time just to be sure that they remain relevant. In the sense of sustainability, that's really important, because unlike something like, I don't know, teaching knife cuts, it's not like this year knife cuts have changed. It's or how you hold a knife has changed. I mean, that's pretty constant. But in the world of sustainability, where things really are changing rapidly, and changing rapidly, not just on what's happening with the planet, but what are potential solutions. There's a lot happening in this space. And so we want to be sure that our curriculum is as up to date as possible. And also, and this is really hard, and I will tell you that when we, wrote the initial curriculum, the hard part really is, how do you make this a global resource? How does it mean something to somebody in Spain and Malaysia and Russia, and Ecuador? How does that work? And what we always did is relied on the instructors in those places to kind of contextualize it to your environment, so it's more meaningful to the students who are learning it. And now, of course, if we do this globally, digitally, that's a little bit trickier. So this is where, the sort of the bullet list on the right of your screen is where we would love to ask your help and your ideas and your feedback. You do a lot already. So it's there is this saying that if you want something done, be sure to ask a busy person, because then it'll get done, right? So, in terms of, us asking you, it's a little bit like, hey, you guys are the ones who are involved enough to be, trainers, and that's a big step. And now we're going to ask you for more. But anyways, so number one, we need to update the materials. So, anything you can do to help us with that. And we're thinking of actually creating kind of a core group of people potentially to go through and look at the materials as they are today, and poke holes in it a little bit. Tell us about this chart is so not meaningful, or I hate this slide because whatever. We need that feedback, because now is a chance. Now we have a time to sort of go back and relook at all that. Number two is localizing materials. So this is really about translation, and also about examples that we may be able to put in there about, if we think about like water, for instance, what might be an interesting thing to talk about or use it as an example, so that when we put this online, we can sort of have examples from all over the world. That's really important. I think in the initial curriculum we put together, I think a very correct criticism is, I think it was a little bit US Europe focused, and that's, as we all know, is only a little piece of the world. So how do we do that? And you can help us with that in a big way. Also, if you have people in your circles who are experts, I will tell you that when we built this curriculum initially, it wasn't like I sat down at my desk and just did this. The first thing I did is to find other people, because there are people who are experts in waste or water or energy or agriculture. I mean, there are people out there this is what they do. And if you know of people who we could potentially ask to work on this with us or review it or whatever, that would be great. So anybody you bumped into who is truly an expert in some part of this, we would love to get your ideas on that. And then once we get this sort of built out, we need people to test it. We need people to, you know, get in the car and test drive it and be sure it works, and give us your feedback. So if you're interested in doing that, let us know. And then lastly, once this is up and live, help us spread the word, because getting to 100,000 is going to be a lot of work. And this, we believe, is a big step in doing that. But, you know, as I've always sort of, I personally like to work with lots of people. I believe that if lots of people put their heads together, the result that we get is far better than if just one or two people do it. So there's the ask of you. All right. Oh, I was trying to advance the slide. I can't do that. It's early. What can I say? Lynn, thank you. Oh my goodness. All right. So Lynn, do you want to talk about this real quick?
Yes, sure. So to follow up on our update for trainers today, I would like to propose a new page that we've been working on as an effort to recognize and also to connect all the trainers that we have around the world. So as you already seen before, we now have over 100 trainers that spreads across 50 different countries. So what is the best way for us to present you, recognize you, and also what is the best way for us to have a place for you to connect with each other and exchange information beside this regular meetup that we try to organize every 3 months. So this is the solutions that we came up with. On Feed the Planet website in October, we will launch a directory of trainers. So on this page, you will be able to search and find trainers in all the countries that we currently have in record. You'll find their name, the countries where they are active in, and you will have the opportunity to connect with them. So how? It will be linked to their WhatsApp account. So more about WhatsApp account, I will move to the next slide. So maybe some of you already have this account. I think Martin on the call, he's already mentioned to me yesterday that he already had a WhatsApp account. So please send me the link to your account. So we would link that account to your name and people can start connecting with you on WhatsApp account. And please also make sure that you join the Feed the Planet committee with your WhatsApp account. This is where we're going to share all the news about all the initiative as part of Feed the Planet, as well as the updates for the trainers. You yourself can also post information about your class, as well as updates on your students' progress. So we truly want to create an open platform for everybody to share and exchange experience. You don't have to reach out to me anymore. You can reach out directly to a trainer in your country or in your region to work together. So I would be putting all these links in the chat box later, so you can easily access it. On the next slide, so this is just a few more advantages that you will have once you sign up for an account. So the WhatsApp account is not just an online profile, but it's also function as your professional social network, I would say. But this is very particular for hospitality industry. You'll be able to receive news that is tailor-made for you as a professional. And you will also receive a job offer if you turn on the functions to look for a job. So it's kind of handy as an additional profile that you have online. So yes, I think that pretty much wrapped up what we would like to share today with you. I also invite some of the trainers who are joining us live today to share and talk a little bit about their experience. So now I would start by making sure that they can access to video.
Can we bring up everybody's images if possible?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking that because we
I'd love to see everybody.
let me make sure that we can have everybody on screen.
There we go. If you can turn on your video, just because I'd love to see you guys. And by the way, if I mispronounced your name, would you please correct me? Because I'm sure I did. Sorry. I have a last name that no one ever can pronounce, so I understand.
Let me make sure that this is taking some time. So if you can't enable your camera yet, please be patient. Okay.
So Montasser, did I pronounce your name right?
Yes, sir. Yes, Montasser, yes.
Chef Montasa is from Egypt and
From Egypt, I
been
know.
working with us.
Where in Egypt are you?
In Cairo.
Cairo. That is, I've been to a lot of countries in this world and I've never been to Egypt. That's on my to-do list.
I invite you anytime coming in Egypt.
Thank you. I would love to go. That's great. Oh, look at that. Lots of folks.
Mr. Thomas always come in Egypt. You enjoyed us.
Yes, I would love to. Lots of history, lots of great food.
No, I just joke with you when I put my name again. I know. Sometimes the name is very difficult, a little bit.
Oh, my goodness. Well, all right. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So we wanted to sort of just ask just a few folks who have just started to be trainers and who are, I believe, training now to just maybe give a few words about how it's going. And then we'd like to open it up to everybody. So Wafa is right there. Yes. So I'm going to put you on the spot first. And is that really what Martin looks like? It looks a lot like Queen. Anyways, so hello. Wafa, would you like to say a few words about how it's going so far and just some thoughts?
I would love to. I've tried to integrate this project and this program and curriculum into the PAM program. PAM is a volunteer organization of people that work in developing countries. And we're now starting to roll out this program amongst a couple of our experts that they're also able to offer the program. And because I'm also an expert in media, I think I can come up with some suggestions to make the curriculum a little more interactive. So if I can maybe give Lynn some suggestions by using maybe another platform in order to get some, questions asked during the presentation, that especially for online might be very suitable. I love to be part of this community, spreading the word. And like you said, we really need to change our behavior like 10 years ago already. So I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm going to also call on, let's see, Rodrigo and Marlene. Hello. So do you want to talk a little bit about how it's going? And you're both in Ecuador. Oh, I love Ecuador. We can talk about Guatita and yeah. Anyways, so how's it going?
It's going well. Last year we taught 2 Feed the Planet classes. One I taught at the university to second-year students. And we managed to do a big one in Manta. I don't know if you've been there. It's a big port, it's a big tourist city. And as part of the reactivation process post-pandemic, if we can talk about it thus, we got 74 people from all food-related fields, and it was very, very successful. We are planning another Feed the Planet for the university this term, so we are trying to implement it as compulsory too. So far, people are, the first class is horrible. People get depressed. We taught the class shortly after the UN report was published.
Oh, interesting.
So we had this 1.5 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree apocalyptic image. Yes, and people were kind of depressed, but after we finished the course, they feel empowered, they feel they can do something, which is partially true. So I think it's being really well received. We had to update for example, if we use the example of Lake Aral in Asia, people don't know it, but there's a lake in Bolivia which has suffered the same problems. So we need to localize, not only translate, and it was very, very well received. We cut short the sustainable nutrition though, because that lesson is huge. So we pared it down, and we are really happy, and people are enthusiastic. And we have had requests to travel through along Ecuador, teaching the course, which makes us really, really happy.
That's incredible. Think about the geometric growth potential there as you travel through Ecuador, and maybe there are people in some of those other locations who would like to also be trainers, and then it sort of grows, and you guys would be like grandparents of trainers and great grandparents of trainers, and that's incredibly wonderful. And I would just add that this. It's an interesting comment you made about sort of being depressed, right? It's really easy to get depressed with the information that's out there. Somewhere between depressed, angry, and almost feeling like hopeless, But I think one of the important things is, it's okay to feel that way. And in fact, we should feel that way. But then if we stay there, that doesn't actually move us to action. And I think part of what we do, and I think part of our role as educators, is to sort of say, here's the reality, but this doesn't have to be the reality that we live with 20, 30, 40 years from now. And that only happens if we change things now. And then, Rodrigo, to your point, and that's where people become empowered to change what they do, but also affect the environment that they're in, in many different ways. So
I give them doom, she gives them hope, and it works nicely.
In English, we call that the 1-2 punch. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I also wanted to
what's left?
Hello, Terry. Wonderful. Question. Let's see. I also wanted to talk to Philippines. Is John or Jean on from the Philippines?
Good evening. Good morning. I'm Jean from the Philippines.
Oh, there you are. I'm sorry. So yes, you're right. You're right next to me on my screen. How did I not see that? Hello. Tell us a little about how things are going for you. These are, relatively new trainers. So what's happening? How's it going?
Yes, I'm a newbie here, but it's very exciting for me, no? Exciting for me as well with my students here in the Philippines. They are taking Bachelor of Science in Education, major in Food Service Management. So we started our first batch last August 25, and we finished it this September. And at first, of course, they are amazed because this is the first that was the first time for them to heard that kind of topic, the sustainability. We do pre-task before we pre-task before we start our lesson. I ask them to illustrate about how they feel about sustainability, and most of them they illustrate a planet with plants, animals, something like that. A common definition of sustainability. And then I ask them also to apply what they learned. So I sent a picture of our project. So they did composting. Since we are doing online classes because of the pandemic. So they have container gardening at home. So they practice the 3 R's, the reuse, reduce, and recycle. As simple as that. They planting herbs and vegetables in their home garden. And the next activity, they are doing food waste. I forgot. Food waste audit, something like that. And then, for a deeper understanding, I asked them to look for a related journal article about sustainability topic to enhance their understanding about what is sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you. This is so encouraging. Yes. Round of applause, everybody. It's not every day you get global applause.
Thank you. I feel
Thank you
nervous.
so much, Jean, for your work on that. And then one last person I just want to call on, who I think maybe now you're unfrozen, is Wafa. Can you hear us? Uh-oh.
I'm not
There
sure
you,
if she can hear us though. Hello, what? I don't think I can hear you yet.
السماعة يا وفاء، السماعة أنت قافلة السماعة. الصوت عندك مش واضح. Sorry, translation by Arabic.
We can hear you, but we can't see you. So probably can I ask you to log out and log back in real quick? So that's the fastest way for you to get connected to audio sometime.
oh, the marvels of modern communication that are awesome when they work.
Yeah, it kind of happens a lot recently with Zoom. I don't know why. We had the same problem in yesterday sessions. So
Can
actually,
I say about Wafa? Can I say something about Wafa?
yes,
Yes, please.
because you've been working together with Chef
Wafa is working with me since 2.5 years, and before he's working with me in a hotel for 5 years, government hotel. When you make stability, he support us a lot. He do it lot of the training when he's working with me in a hotel. Now, after he's approved about the stability, he's going from Par to Cairo, like 1,000 kilo of Hurdaga, to enjoy the hotel and to explain the general manager about the stability and go to him around the hotel. He visited 10 hotels and he say after the season we'll start to make it in the floor together. You make it.
Thank you. Hello.
His voice coming
I have
in.
a problem.
There we go, Wafa.
problem.
We can hear you.
Sorry. Hello. It's honor to be with you for. Hello, Lina. How are you? Hello, Chief Chris. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to everybody. It was a long wait
You work
to
with
reach
to
be here.
You know,
I'm sorry, Chef Ramontas, I have to mute you just to make sure that there's no echoes, but I think we still have echo from Chef Wafa's side. So it's such so.
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, but better
Yes.
now.
Okay. It was a long way to reach here, but it was a faraway dream, but I got it at last. First of all, when I started to learn about sustainability, I learned it through my teacher, Chief Muntasir Masoud. Then I started to attend all the courses of the world chefs. Really, I noticed that my thoughts was completely changed session by session and part by part. So I've decided to, I felt the responsibility to, I want to provide all the people around me with this valuable information that I've learned. I started to applying sustainability on my house, on my daily life, on my children. I worked hard to be a trainer, and I couldn't do it without the help of my teacher and spiritual father, Chief Muntasir Masoud, and without your support, Lena. Thank you so much. And Chief Chris, I so loved on your way teaching us all your sessions. I love your way. You are a great teacher, really. Then at the last, I got it and I became a trainer of sustainability. It was honor to me. My first wave, it was great days for me because I found my students have all the ideas that I want to give them. Their thoughts are already changed like me. So my hope and my dream, and I discovered that sustainability is an agent of change. And as I said, my hope and my dream, I want to be sustainability to be our lifestyle, not just a course to learn or to teach. And one day, it will be soon. We'll got it, inshallah. Thank you all. It's an honor to be with you.
All right, global applause, everyone.
Thank you, thank you.
Rafa, thank you so very much. For those comments, and thanks for working hard to get your the audio to work, because that can be frustrating.
I'm sorry.
But, no, it's great. So the thing there that I'm just so excited about is that some of your comments about that this sustainability shouldn't be like a topic. It should be the way we live. And
yes.
And I think that it's really about, and you said something really important, which is it's about action and it's about changing. And everything that we do at World Chefs with Feed the Planet is always about not just teaching, because if we teach just for the sake of knowledge, we're wasting our time. If we teach for the sake of knowledge and of action and change, then we're doing the right thing. And I know that I hear lots of stories of people who are who you guys have taught and have changed, and it's all of a sudden they're like, wow, we can do this. And by the way, we really want to know as many stories as you can give us, because that just frankly, it's encouraging to Lynn and I, just on a personal note. But we also want to publicize that for the rest of the trainers to see. If something is working well, if something's not working well, tell us. And on a broader scale, the Feed the Planet Committee has a reach that's pretty substantial and pretty global. And we really want our partner organizations and the rest of World Chefs to know what you're doing, because you guys are the rock stars. So you're the one traveling, to meet with, a GM and changing the way the GM is thinking about their hotels. That's huge. That's huge. So keep it up. Questions for, and by the way, I forgot to recognize one person. I see it on my list and I apologize. And I'm so going to butcher your name in advance. I'm sorry, but it's Sudasinghe in India. I'm so sorry. I know it's like, go ahead, Lynn, correct me.
I would butcher his name the same way, so I just want to add.
So tell us how you say it for real. Unmute your.
I don't think he's able to join us today on the call. So lucky for us that he. Oh no, he's here.
No, I see his. So, anyways, all right. If you can tell us how to pronounce your name, and Wafa, if you could mute one of your devices, that would be great. Starting to bounce around there a little bit.
So I think that we still have some minutes left, and we have some of our trainer here on screen with us. So maybe can I invite you to do a round, because since you're on camera, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, your school, and your plan with the curriculum. Can you put it on? Can you put it on spot? So, well, I will just start with the order that I have on my screen. Maybe can we start with Mark?
Yeah, how you doing? Mark Gaffney here. I'm a commie chef, apprentice tutor here in Kilkenny in Ireland. And I have a new apprenticeship starting in the 11th of October. So the plan is, part of the induction, we're going to get to look at the online version, the short version of the sustainability program, and then implement the sustainability throughout the 2-year apprenticeship. So that's the plan there. I'm also working on a 50 Shades Greener, which is a sustainability program here in Ireland. And it's all about saving kind of waste, energy, food waste. And it's all about the monitoring. So I'm going in to deliver that into some hotels here in Kilkenny and Carlow. So that's it kind of links in very well with the kind of content that you have as well. So I'm going into the kitchens. So I was working in kitchens for years. I'm just teaching for the last 5 years.
Mark, that's amazing. And you have to share more about this 50 Shades Greener thing. I think that's very clever.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's a program, and it's all about the hotels kind of analysing their bills from previous years. So that they're analysing it. They're looking at LED lights, changing the LED lights. They're looking at the water waste. They're looking to do a food bucket challenge where they have one service where all of the food that's wasted during the service, it's collected, and then they get to see all the waste. So it can help the chef to reduce the amount of food that they're putting on the plate. It can help with ordering. It just helps with the waste, and to see how much the waste costs then. So it's all about showing them the cost, and even saving money by breakfast chef going in the morning, turning on the oven it's on for the day, and by turning it off for 2 hours every day, you can save maybe €10,000 on energy in a full year. And that's not seen because a lot of chefs, they're not aware. I was never aware of the actual electricity costs, how much I was spending on energy or gas in the kitchen. So it's just educating and giving the awareness so that they have the power to change things, and it just becomes a standard. So creating SOPs to have the staff it's just going to be natural then. So sustainability just becomes the norm.
Super cool. Mark, we got to talk more about that. Thank you so much. It's really neat. Lynn, who's next on your screen? You're driving.
Yes. So can I invite Chef Deborah to speak up next?
Okay, it's Deborah. I know it's spelled like Deborah, but it's Deborah. Good morning, everybody. I'm a Dean of Culinary at Kaiser University in Florida. And I decided to do this so I can bring this to my curriculum for my students. I've already put a little bit in. We do, right now, one of our projects in the nutrition class, which is Farm to Fork, we do the waste thing. We take all our waste and we have to create food out of it, and trying to make the students kind of aware of what they're doing, how much they're wasting. I keep all the waste. We do compost. So I want to bring this into my curriculum too. So I want to do the classes first, train my instructors, and then put it into my curriculum. And there's 3 campuses that do culinary in Florida here at Kaiser. So I want to bring it to all of them so we can all be aware, and then maybe bring it through our other campuses in some way other than culinary, and hopefully the communities. I want those future chefs out there in the communities knowing about this and taking it with them to train other people.
Geometric growth. Thank you.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, so next, Ken, thank you, Deborah. I hope I pronounced your name correctly now. Can I invite Chef Eric next?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Eric here from Malaysia. I am the high school culinary instructor, which is a difference between the college and university, which is my student was 16, 17 years old, which is very, very young, which is those young student. So it's a bit hard that I will teach the true process of our sustainability program to the student. So I'm actually tuned a bit. I change into some of the student that they can understand, because my student is more to the Chinese education. So in English, they will a bit hard. So in the program that in practical way, we actually do more into the zero waste program, which is during their cooking, they need to do the calculations and they need to know what they can use for the wastages. And of course, in future, I will add more others items into the student to let them learn more. So I will try my best to continue to educate to all the students, to the young chef here in Malaysia. So in future, when they continue study into university or college, they can learn more better and more professional in future. Yeah, thank you.
That's great. Where in Malaysia are you, out of curiosity?
I'm in KL,
KL,
Kuala Lumpur.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, Chinese school.
Yep. Great place. Okay.
Thank you, Chef. So can I ask Chef Paulo to continue?
Yep. Hi guys. My name is Paolo. I'm development chef for Compass Group UK and Ireland. Multi roles in the company. Obviously with COVID now, things have kind of changed. I used to run our in-house cookery school, but we've offset it now. I'm responsible for writing all the concepts for the Ireland business and a lot for the UK business. So we're aiming for plant-based, plant-forward dishes. We have our own internal goals. By 2023, every concept will be 50% plant-based or plant-forward looking. We haven't rolled out our sustainability yet because I'm actually cooking at COP26 in Glasgow, end of October, November. So we're planning on doing it after that, to have that behind us, that bit of framework and that little bit of kind of push from the heads of government and everything else, where we can have a bit of a different idea and a different take on things as well. But we're making it mandatory for Ireland. So we have 1,500 chefs, GAs and managers. So it's going to be compulsory. So everybody will be trained. Obviously starting off with the senior chefs, going to the junior chefs and then managers and so on at a later date. I pushed it onto the UK side. So hopefully they will take up the VAT, because there's too many over there for me to train. There's about 10,000 of them. But everyone seems to be interested. We have a sustainability committee over in Ireland. I'm part of that. But there's all different things that are going on. But going on to Mark, what he was saying earlier on, I had no idea the electricity we use. We have an idea of water because it's physical. You see it, you turn it on, you turn it off. And we've done some audits on electricity and energy that what we were using in some of our units, especially our bigger sites. And it was quite frightening, to be perfectly honest. You could run a small town on just stuff that's not getting used because it's getting turned on at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then doesn't get turned off to 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it's probably only cooking for about 3 or 4 hours of that entire day. So I think it's exciting times ahead, and I don't think it's too doom and gloom. I think a lot of people now, especially over in UK and Ireland and America, I think people are starting to get more aware of it now. So we're aiming to get the troops on the ground. Because it doesn't matter what I come up with, it doesn't matter what I do, unless the commie chefs, the GAs, everybody else is bought into it, it doesn't make any difference. That we need to really do it. When they go home, they'll do it and work, and then they'll go home. And as some of the chefs were saying, planting the herbs, compost. We actually just bought and composted ourselves to do our little bit as well. And if we all do our little bit, it's all gonna add up, and eventually we will have a brighter future.
That's amazing. Thank you so very much. I love all this discussion about energy because, yeah, that is one thing that nobody sees it. And yet, we, so many of us, we grew up in kitchens learning extremely bad habits, like leaving stuff on all day. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's really great.
Thank you, Chef. Just want to follow up a little bit about all the recipe that you've been sharing with us. Chef Paulo have been sending me all the free waste recipe that he's been working together with his kids in the weekend. We are now using it in the next chapter of one of our upcoming project called Replay. So we are very happy to feature your zero waste recipe on our up and going project, and it will be shared with you in the coming week. Thank you so much. So coming up next is one of the chefs that I have the pleasure to meet in person in Malaysia. Chef Sun, would you like to say something?
Hello. So it's very exciting now in Malaysia because we finally get to go back to physical class in a few weeks' time. So we are going to start to implement the waste segregation system, finally. Apart from that, also we are coming up with publishing a ebook on zero waste, the recipes by the student, and also adopt by the association. And hopefully next year we can do together with all the trainers. One trainer, one recipe, and hopefully we can publish an ebook by the Congress time. Yeah. And while in the association side, Chef Bubalan, who is the head of the sustainability in our association, is working very closely with Isaac to work on their Clean Our Plate. It's the 11th edition now. So very exciting programs coming up. And in November, we have another one, the Selangor Culinary Festival, and we'll feature one special day just for sustainability, everything about sustainability. And I hope I get to invite Chris and Lynn maybe for a short talk during that session. Yeah, that's it from Malaysia.
I would be happy to do that, and that sounds so incredible. And we have to get your ebook of your student recipes, and I don't know if we can put it on our website. That would be so cool. Anyways, great job, Chef, as always. Thank you so much, and great to be back in person again.
So yes, I know that we're running short of time, but I would like to invite two remaining chefs on screen. So we first start with Chef Terry.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Hello, everybody. We're from I'm working at Silver Spoon Hospitality Academy in Namibia, Windhoek to be precise, the capital. It's a very arid country in Southern Africa, just above South Africa. So we really need to be aware of water usage, in particular, due to the fact that we've just come out of a drought, about a 5-year drought that we had. And so that's one of our resources that is extremely scarce. Even though we've got an extensive coastline, there's very limited resources as far as potable water is concerned. And we've now, well, here in Namibia, they have now set up a desalination plant, and there's talk of a few more to come online in the near future to make use of the coastline that we have. And from our point of view, we started introducing sustainability, the curriculum, in our classes. I think it was in 2019, we've been offering it. It's now part of our curriculum for the last 3 years. And it's a vital part of the training that we give to our students. As mentioned before, I mean, energy is a resource that once it's used, it's gone. We cannot replace it. So it's important that our students that are going out into the industry are aware of the pitfalls of not utilizing resources to their fullest potential. The one thing I want to mention is that on International Chefs Day, we're advertising that professional chefs in and around Windhoek in Namibia can join us for a masterclass on sustainability with emphasis on plant-based diets, which is something we are introducing also to our students. And in fact, last week, Wednesday, we hosted a food and wine pairing where the one dish was made use of the entire cauliflower, from the leaves, the stems, the florets, everything was served on one plate. And Namibia is known for its consumption of meat. And it was quite interesting to see that even the meat lovers, those plates came back clean. They thoroughly enjoyed it, and none of them missed the protein on the plate, which is encouraging to see for the future of sustainability. And thank you very much to Lynn and Chris. This is a fantastic platform, and it's really wonderful to be able to network and communicate with like-minded individuals from all over the world.
And I will say that Chef Terry was one of the first guys to jump on board here many years ago. So it's always great to see you. And again, as you're talking, and as all of you are talking, I keep thinking about how can we capture all this amazing stuff you all are doing and publicize it to the rest of the World Chefs community. You guys, this is great stuff. So anyways, Lynn, back to you.
Yes, I just want to not really run over too much of your time. Thank you so much for spending time with us. But there's one last chef on screen that have been with us and haven't spoken. So can I invite Chef Walter to the floor?
Okay, well, yeah, I'm a bit new to the club. I'm executive chef of Admiral Hotel by M Gallery in Manila. We are opening in February. And I have been extremely fortunate that I have worked in some super sustainable hotels for Six Senses, Soneva in the Maldives. So sustainability has actually become part of the life. And doing an opening of a hotel, I just want to take this chance of getting everybody through the sustainable training. So we'll have about 90 people in F&B and culinary together, including then as well the trainings manager and some other departments who have already shown interest, that by the time we open the hotel, we are living the sustainability. We're already having plans of zero waste. We're working with farmers in the region. They have worm farms. We're buying their vegetables from them. We're feeding their farms. Or the worms actually. Looking at doing our own EM, which is basically a floor cleaner that we can do ourselves out of kitchen waste, mainly the citrus peel. I have had farms before in hotels, and we do the same actually in Manila. We will grow our own mushrooms. So the whole culinary is around sustainability and luxury, and it's a bit different than the schools. But yeah, in November, when the first staff are arriving, we will first go through the induction of the hotel, and the next thing they do is the sustainable training that we offer here through WEX. So I have to say, when I went through the program myself, it's absolutely fantastic, and I actually can't wait to introduce it to all our hosts. And at the same time, you know, being part of the LTB here in Chef Association in the Philippines, the next step would then be to offer that, of course, to all the LTB members and as well all the Accor hotels in Manila.
Wow, that's great. So I think, did we get everybody, Lynn? Everybody have a
Yes,
chance?
I think we got everybody on screen. So we are overrunning by a few minutes. Would you like to say something to wrap up the sessions?
Does anyone else want to add anything quickly, or?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think we got, okay. Well, I just, you know, what do I say? You know, I guess, you know, from my perspective, right? You know, we spend so much time working on all this, and, you know, work is work. You know, I was just emailing somebody last night about this committee and telling about what we do, and he said to me, "How long have you been doing this?" I'm like, I don't know. And Lynn, I don't know. It's like 8 years, or I don't know, a long time. But the point is that there were many years when things were moving really slowly. And now all of a sudden things are moving a lot faster. And when I hear all the things that you all are doing, and you're only a little piece of the 108 trainers we have out there, I can't tell you how happy it makes me to think that what started as this little kernel of an idea a bunch of years ago now is growing into something substantial in 50 countries, and with people like you who are making it happen. And it's just, you know, I hear about what I hear from all of you is not just the great ideas and your drive and dedication, but your passion for it. And that's just, it's incredibly uplifting. So I'm starting my day. It's now 7 in the morning here. And what a great way to start the day. So thank you all. I mean, just keep doing it, and we're gonna keep growing this. So just a huge thank you to all of you.
So can I have a quick photo of everybody so that you prepare and not to be captured in a weird looking side of your face. So I'm gonna count on 3, 1, 2, and thank you so much for the photo. So I'll be sending this to you together with the recording as well as all the piece of information that we shared today. I really hope that we can have this regular meetup, like minimum every 3 months. If you can have the time to join us, it will usually happen approximately at 2 Paris time. So I really hope that you can make the time for it when you can. I hope it's not too late or too early for some of you. But if you can't join, there's always other way for us to connect with each other via email or via the trainer listing that I just mentioned before. So thank you so much for taking the time off your schedule to join us today, and look forward to hear from you soon.
Yes, and a shout out to Lynn again. Thank you so much for all your work. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day, an evening, and whatever you are, and wherever you are in the world. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.